You're about to enter a restaurant where you probably want to make sure to tip well. At Shooter's Grill, open carry has nothing to do with takeout. Almost all the waitresses pack heat, publicly and proudly. They say it makes them safer, and that's apparently been good for business, and probably bad for anyone thinking about dining and dashing. Here's ABC's Clayton Sandell.
Every morning, Lauren Boebert starts the day with some blush, fixes her near-perfect hair, and puts on her sparkly belt. But she is not fully dressed without her bullets and her 9mm semi-automatic. This is the way of life for Lauren, a 27-year-old mother of 4.
Should have back up as soon as we start. Green's got a gun.
Ooh, Green got missed.
Go slower. Ready?
Okay.
Green's got a gun. Pull it out, find the front sight. Are you a good shot?
Generally.
So when she and her husband opened this restaurant a year ago in their hometown,
How was your meal?
the gun theme seemed totally natural. Lauren took it one step further.
I wanted to start carrying just for my protection. This is my establishment, so I didn't see anything wrong with that. I began to open carry, and then my girls started to approach me and ask if they could open carry as well.
They call the place the Shooter's Grill. And of course, where else would you expect to find a place called the Shooter's Grill than right off the highway here in Rifle, Colorado?
It is a very common thing here. We see people open carrying all the time. We live in Rifle, Colorado. It's a small town. It's a rancher's community. It is like the Old West out here.
Nightline ventured to Colorado's western slope to check it out. Inside, the place is packed, and the waitresses packing.
What is this?
It's a Ruger 357 Blackhawk.
Good kick? I mean, is it?
It's got a pretty hard kick, but nothing that I can't handle.
And they are fully loaded.
Does anybody dare leave a small tip?
They still tip like normal people, you know, so, I mean, it's not like we're going to shoot them or anything if they leave us a small tip.
What's happening at the Shooter's Grill is an offshoot of a controversial movement started in Texas to legally and openly carry guns in stores and restaurants.
This is probably the safest corner in San Antonio right now.
But a growing number of national chains like Target, Starbucks, Chipotle, Chili's, and Jack in the Box have asked customers to leave their weapons at home. This has only enraged the open carry movement. But here, the concept is turned upside down. Instead of armed customers, it's the employees.
I have a right to carry my firearm, and I'm going to carry it.
Or most of them.
You're not carrying.
Right.
Why not?
Because I don't own a gun. I wish I did, but...
Are you the only person in here that doesn't own a gun?
No, there's someone in her.
So you're the two holdouts?
Yep, we're getting there. We haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet.
Okay, all right, why not?
17.
Okay.
Can't buy my own.
The grill is so popular,
We're from Nashville, Tennessee.
food sometimes sells out. But most people we met didn't come hundreds of miles for the burgers.
We're from Nebraska.
Featuring names like the Guac 9 or the Swiss and Wesson.
What made you want to come in?
The guns.
The guns.
I firmly believe that education and safe and responsible use of a firearm is perfectly fine in today's society.
But is it all just a gimmick?
My firearms have nothing to do with the amazing hamburgers we cook. Actually, the food that we cook is what started all this.
Over the past few weeks, Lauren's restaurant has gotten so much attention that a U.S. Marine supposedly called in with an offer to buy a gun for any waitress that didn't have one.
He called in from California and asked our owner if there was a girl that he could buy a gun that did not have one yet. So I got it like 3 days ago, maybe?
3 days ago.
Yeah, it's a Kimber 45.
Of course, not everyone is thrilled. From Facebook and social media posts wishing harm to Lauren and her employees, random phone calls at the restaurant,
Shame on you.
to actual hate mail.
Hope God punishes you for what you are doing. Hope that you and all your patrons will kill yourself.
Pretty harsh.
That is pretty harsh.
Then there's Colorado itself, which, after all, is a state that's seen its share of gun violence. The massacre at Columbine High School.
That was the weekend before he was killed.
And 2 years ago, Dave Hoover lost his nephew A.J. Boyk at this Aurora movie theater.
About 2:30 that evening, went to bed, and Teresa called, my sister. She calls, screaming on the phone. I picked it up and I said, what's going on? What's wrong? What's wrong? She says, I don't know where AJ is. I said, he's at the movies. She says, turn on the TV. Get up, turn on the TV, and that's when it hit me. I went, oh, my God.
AJ was one of the 12 people killed that night. Hoover argues the shooter's grill is glorifying gun culture.
This is America. They're allowed to do that. But you can't glamorize the gun. The gun will never be a glamorous thing. It's just an object.
Hoover has been in law enforcement for 3 decades. He worries that when shots ring out, more guns equals more confusion for police.
I don't know which one's the bad guy, which one's the good guy. I know I'm going to engage the one that's closest to me. And I hope to God that's the bad guy. You never know.
People in Colorado, for example, like Aurora families, like Columbine families, who think that this is sort of a normalization of guns in America, which has got this violent undertone to it.
What's violent about it? What's violent about law-abiding citizens carrying a gun?
A lot of people don't want to be around firearms, don't want their families around it. This is not necessarily normal everywhere.
I think it should be normal everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I think it should be a common sight, and I think we'd have a lot less violence if it was.
Lauren insists her employees and her customers are safe.
I'm more worried about my cooks getting burnt in the kitchen than a firearm going off in the restaurant.
Most businesses nearby don't seem worried by all those guns, but one shopkeeper across the street hopes the staff will know how to react if the worst happens.
People who are carrying them, the employees, I know they've been through training. I know that they're legally able to carry the guns. I just hope that if somebody happens to come in there and test them, that they'll be able to take care of things. But other than that, I feel great. I went there and ordered lunch today.
Lauren says all of her employees have to take classes and know how to handle their weapons. Even the local police chief says in Rifle, things are different.
Well, I understand why some people from the outside may see this as a little bit odd, but for here it's really quite normal. They really stress the classes, no alcohol is served. So this business model that they have really fits in with the community.
And the burgers are good.
And the burgers are great.
All the national attention and nonstop business, not only for the restaurant, but for Rifle, has Lauren considering a possible franchise.
It sounds exciting. Maybe we would get a couple more restaurants going before anything, but there's been a lot of talk of it, a lot of people calling, a lot of people even demanding it, and it's actually kind of honoring that somebody want a piece of what we have.
Lauren and her Shooter's Grill plan to keep on serving seconds right along with the Second Amendment.
People call in all the time and tell me that this is not normal where they are and they would never patronize a restaurant like this. And I say thank you for your opinion. God bless you.
I'm Clayton Sandell for Nightline in Rifle, Colorado.